Hi guys, happy new year. It's 2020 now and I thought what would be a better way to start this year by making a video about everything I did last year. Anyway, I did do a video where I put like all of my clips from the year together, which is up on my channel. I will link it down below so you can see it. But I figured it also would just be nice to make a video where I talk about everything that happened, because I obviously don't have clips from everything, and I just thought it'd be nice to talk about it because a lot has happened. So before we start, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's just get right into it. So the year obviously starts with January, and I genuinely don't remember a lot from January. I don't know if there was any good that happened, but it was just the start of the year. I was probably just busy with school or something, I don't know. So let's just move on to February. In February I went skiing in Germany and Austria. We were basically like on the border between Germany and Austria, and apart from that I was also just busy with school. But then we get to March, and March was probably the most exciting month of this year. March was the start of Shawn Mendes' tour, which was the biggest highlight of my year and also the biggest part of my year. So that was really great. It started on the 4th of March when I went to Amsterdam to try and meet Shawn, because I knew that he was in Amsterdam and I was just like, I'm gonna try to meet him. So I went to Amsterdam, I met him, and then right after we met him everyone was like, you guys need to go to Ziggo Dome right now because he's doing like a listening party thing. And I was like, are you kidding? We were in McDonald's and we literally ran out of McDonald's, ran to the train station because we wanted to take an Uber, but it took way too long. So we ran to the train station, took the train to Ziggo Dome, ran literally from the station at Ziggo Dome to Ziggo Dome. And if you've been there, you know that that's not that close. It's not far, but to run, yeah, because everyone was like, you need to be there before 3:30, and it was like 3:25, and we just ran and we made it on time. And basically what he did there, he was obviously on tour in March and April, so he had to like pre-record his performance for the Juno Awards, and he did that in Amsterdam, and there were only like 100 people there, and it was just very intimate and really cool to experience. He sang In My Blood like 3 times. It was just really nice. I really loved that week. That was probably one of the best weeks of my life, I'm not even joking. Because the next day I went back to Amsterdam and I met Shawn again with Ashley and Layla, which was also crazy because Ashley and Layla are from freaking Australia and they were just casually with me in Amsterdam. Like, what? So that was really nice. And then the next day I went back to Amsterdam. I literally went to Amsterdam 6 times that week. Yeah, so then I went to Amsterdam, but this time I didn't take the train. I went by car with my mom and we went to the airport to pick up Ailey, which, if you didn't know, is my best friend who's from Scotland. So she flew to Amsterdam for Shawn's tour. I picked her up from the airport and we just went into Amsterdam to meet some people. Then we met Alessia Cara, and that was also really nice. She's like the sweetest person. She's so cute. And then we just spent the day in Amsterdam and we went home. And then we have the 7th of March. Oh my god. So that was the first show of Shawn's whole tour, which started in Amsterdam, which was really weird to me because a few years ago I never thought that he would ever come to Amsterdam, and now he started his tour here, which was crazy. And I had a meet and greet for the first show and I was just really excited. The meet and greet was really cute. It wasn't rushed at all, so it was really good to just like talk to him and just, I don't know, it just felt really good. And then the Q&A and the show, it was just really cool that it was the first show and you didn't know anything. You didn't know the set list, you didn't know what was gonna happen, you didn't know the visuals, you just didn't know anything, which was really nice. And I remember everything from that night so vividly. It was just really good. And he had 2 shows in Amsterdam, so the next day was also another show, and this show was just really special because I was with Ailey and Amelia, and then when Shawn was on B stage we came together with literally so many people from like Twitter and stuff, and it was just really good. It was, that was probably one of my favorite shows, and because it was Amsterdam obviously. And the next day I went back to Amsterdam. That's also probably the week where I spent most of my money on iced coffee. Like, I had so much iced coffee that week, it wasn't even funny. If you saw me that week, you probably saw me holding an iced coffee. I mean, I don't blame myself, I was sleep deprived. But yeah, I went back to Amsterdam, I spent time with friends, and then I brought Ailey back to the airport, which was sad, but I saw her a month later, so it was fine. And the next thing that happened in March was that I went to Copenhagen, which was very last minute. I literally booked my flights to Copenhagen 2 days before, because the last day that I was in Amsterdam, I brought Ailey to the airport and I took the train home. And when I was waiting for my train, my friend Ines texted me. She was like, I think you should come to Copenhagen. And I was like, well, I think so too. And then 2 days before I went, I booked a flight and I decided to surprise a few people, which was literally the most fun thing I've ever done. I flew to Copenhagen and then I was on a train from the airport to where my friends were. I was like texting with Ines and Hannah about where they were because they wanted to leave because my flight was delayed by like 2 hours, so I was there really late, and then they wanted to leave. They had to make them stay because I was coming there. So then my friend Carolina from Prague, she texted me. She was like, I wish you were here, and I was literally on the train from the airport to go see them. And then I surprised them, and that was really good. Just the Copenhagen show was really good because there were a lot of my friends at that show, and the fact that it was last minute was really good. But what wasn't so good is that I flew home from Copenhagen on the 18th and I was home at like 3 p.m. and then I was home for like 3 hours and then I went to Paris. Yeah, I went on a day trip to Paris, which was fun because I love Paris, but overall it wasn't the best experience. I was alone at the show, which I was honestly fine by because it was really good to like be by yourself and enjoy the music. I don't know, I like that for some reason. It was really good to spend time with my friends because during the day, at first I was with some of my French friends. That sounded really confusing, but I was with them, but they all had VIP, so they went to the arena quite early. So me and Yana just sat by this fountain and that was really nice. Overall, the experience from going to Paris was not that good because after the show I took an overnight bus back home and I don't know, I just felt really sick and tired, and yeah, I think it was just a little bit too much from that week in Amsterdam and then Copenhagen and then Paris. It was just a bit too much, but I did enjoy Paris. Moving on to April, which was also a really exciting month. I saw James CW in Amsterdam and I also met him because Ailey surprised me with a meet and greet, which I'm still so thankful for. That was really nice because I love James. He's really nice. I had never met him before, but now I did. So then after his show, I got home at like 1 a.m. and then I had to go to the airport at 6 a.m. because I went to Dublin, which is the most crackhead thing I've ever done. I wasn't supposed to go to Dublin, but I found a front row ticket, so I was like, okay, I'm going to Dublin. But then they decided to change the seating plan from the Dublin shows from seats to general admission, so like standing. And I was really scared because I bought a front row ticket, but I wasn't like assured that I was gonna be front row because it was standing. Then I got a meet and greet. Someone was selling a meet and greet and I just couldn't resist it to not do it because my Amsterdam meet and greet was really good, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do that again. But then I still ended up being front row and it was one of my favorite shows probably. But then we decided to sleep at the airport because we had a 6 a.m. flight to London the next day. So yeah, we slept at the airport. That was probably my rock bottom of 2019. I actually vlogged all of this, so if you want to see my tour vlogs, they are on my channel and they're actually really nice. I love all of my tour vlogs, so go watch them. So then I spent a week in London. I love London, the vibes there, everything is just great. It was such a fun week. I had so many great experiences. The first show I was with just Ailey, and that was one of the only shows that I was with just Ailey, which was really good because I really enjoyed just being with her and just enjoying Shawn and just everything. Stitch's live. First show was great, and then the second London show was on the 17th of April, which was a really special day to me because on the 17th of April 2016, so on that day 3 years ago, now almost 4 years ago, I saw and met Shawn for the first time. So now 3 years later I was seeing him in London. It's honestly insane to me, all of that. Anyway, on that day, my friend from Birmingham, Jess, she surprised me in London. Like, she just showed up and it was really nice to finally meet her. And then it was such a coincidence because at the show, me and Ailey had like 2 seats, but then the seat next to us was literally free. Like, there was no one, it was empty. So Jess could sit with us. That was really nice. Literally no one showed up. And then after London Night 2, I took a selfie where I was crying as a joke. Because it was Ailey her last show because she couldn't go to the 3rd London show. And because Ailey is my best friend and we kind of like did this tour together, it was just really emotional that she was leaving and we had to like say bye. It just kind of felt like it was like the end of something. So we like cried because it was just emotional. And I took that selfie and I tweeted it as a joke saying, go to a Shawn Mendes concert, it will be fun, they said. And the next morning I was talking to this girl in my Airbnb and I was like, it already has 700 likes, should I like delete it? And she was like, no, it's funny, blah blah blah. Everyone thought it was really funny. So we just spent the day in London and I was getting iced coffee, obviously, in Covent Garden, and suddenly everyone started to like yell at me and like, oh my god. I was like, what is going on? But it turned out Shawn liked my tweet, like the one with the selfie of me crying. I can't believe he saw a photo of me crying though, but everyone was like texting me and I was like shocked. It was weird. So that was fun. And then later that night, we spent the entire night sitting at Shake Shack, just laughing, crying, because I had to say bye to Ailey. And just, that was honestly so fun. We were with a couple of people and it was just really nice. And then I had to say bye to Ailey, cried again. I cried a lot in London and in Toronto. I'm just a very emotional person. That was just a really emotional night. And then the next day was London Night 3, which was the last Europe show. It was just a good show. Don't really have much to say about that. And then the next day I flew home. Let's move on to May, which is my birthday month. Apart from my 18th birthday, May wasn't interesting at all. I don't think I did anything special. I just had school. But yeah, I turned 18. June, I also genuinely don't remember anything interesting from June. Wait, I went to Roel's concert in Amsterdam in June. But that's the only interesting thing I've done. The 7th month of the year is July. In July, I went to Spain with my parents, which was good. We went to Blanes, if that's how you pronounce it in English, for 2 weeks, and I just love Spain. We went to Barcelona. Yeah. Moving on to a very interesting month of the year, which is August. In August, I saw Ailey again because we went interrailing. So she flew to Amsterdam and I picked her up from the airport and we spent the day in Amsterdam. And then the next morning we flew to Rome to start our interrail. From Rome, we went to Certaldo, which is a town near Florence. Then the next day we went to Florence. Then we went to Verona for a day. Then we went to Milan. From Milan, we went to Switzerland. We went to Interlaken. And then we did a day trip to Grindelwald. I never know how to pronounce that city, but we went there and then we went back to Interlaken. And we also did paragliding in Interlaken, which was literally insane. And then from Switzerland, we went to Paris, and from Paris back to Amsterdam. And honestly, the whole trip was literally insane. It was just really good to travel with Ailey, and I loved all of the cities. They were really good. My favorite would probably be Florence. I really loved Florence and Verona and Switzerland. Switzerland is insanely pretty. Like, that literally looks fake. Another thing was really special about this. Ailey, her parents, they flew to Amsterdam to spend like 3 days there. And then when we came back from Paris to Amsterdam, they picked us up from the train station, and my mom and my brother also came to Amsterdam so my mom could meet Ailey, her parents. And I feel like that was really good because 2 weeks later I went to Canada and I was also with Ailey and her dad there. So I feel like it was really good that my mom could meet Ailey, her dad, so she kind of like knew who I was like hanging out with. So that was just really good. I loved the interrail trip. That was also a big highlight of this year. So as I mentioned, I went to Canada. In September, I went to Toronto, which, oh my god, I love Toronto. Toronto is probably my favorite city ever. I literally loved it so much. I could dead as move there. It was, first of all, really special because it was my first trip out of Europe, which I really like. And it was also for Shawn Mendes' first stadium show. So everything about my trip to Canada was just really good. I loved seeing all those people. I met a lot of people from like the US and Canada and even Australia. I met literally so many people and I just felt so like at home there for some reason, and everything was so amazing. Also, my Canada vlog is actually one of my favorite videos I've ever made, so go watch my Canada video because I don't want to go too in depth about everything that I did this year, because then this video will be like an hour long. So you can just watch the videos I made about those trips, because Toronto, I'm so sure that I'm going back to Toronto. I don't know when, I don't care when. I just know that I'm gonna have to go back because I loved it so much. It was just a really special trip that I hold very close to my heart. And also in September, I saw Astrid S in Amsterdam and I love her. So yeah. October, nothing interesting happened except from winning a trip to see Shawn Mendes in Australia. That sounds like nothing, but it was literally so insane. Basically, this radio station in the Netherlands did a contest where you could win a trip to Sydney to see Shawn Mendes, and I won. I promise you I'm happy, but it still sounds so fake. So 3 weeks later, it was November, and I actually went to Australia. I took my mom and we flew to Sydney. We saw Dan and Shay and Shawn Mendes there, which was so crazy. If you know me, Dan and Shay are one of my favorite artists, and it was so crazy seeing them. And also because I wasn't expecting to go to Australia at all. Like, I thought Toronto was my last show of tour, but then I saw him 2 more times in Sydney, Australia. But then the second Sydney show was my last show of tour for real this time. And then 2 weeks later, because I can't seem to stay at home for more than 2 weeks, I went to Scotland, also very last minute, to surprise Ailey. I spoke to her friends and her dad about surprising her, and then I surprised her in Scotland. Like, I literally just showed up at her house. We went to Rule his concert together in Glasgow, and that was just also a really fun experience to see some of my Scottish friends again. And yeah, that was all of November. In December, I saw Rule again in Amsterdam this time. December was actually a lot of fun. I didn't do like many special things, but I basically spent a lot of time with my friends and family. And obviously December is like a busy month with Christmas and everything, but it was really nice. I love December, and that was my 2019. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to my channel down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!